Hello guys, how are you today? So today I'll be explaining the Math AMS of Term 2 Week 11. Now I'm sorry for being a bit late to post this AMS. I was busy this Sunday and yesterday I was doing the course practices, so I apologize if I posted it very late. So they told us 1 pint is equal to 28.875 cubic inches. A lab technician has 2 pints. 2 pints means how much is the total cubic inches or the total volume. It is gonna be 2 times 28.875, which will give us an answer of 57.75 of diluted acid that he will dispense in identical cylinder test tubes, each having a radius of 1 inch. Keep this in mind, a radius of 1 inch. Okay, and a height of 4 inches. You have a height of 4 inches. They need us, what? They need us to find the maximum number of test tubes he will be able to prepare. Very simply, this isn't a difficult question. All we need to know, in addition, is that the technician, he fills each test tube up to 85% of its capacity. So, from reading the question, I gathered all of this information. Now, capacity, whenever they say capacity, they are always referring to volume. And because they are cylindrical test tubes, we can find their volume by doing pi r squared h. So it becomes pi times 1 squared times the height h, which will give us 4 pi. Now, when he fills them with pint or pint, I don't know what you call it, he fills up only 85% of its capacity. So 4 pi times 85% or 85 over 100, and you are gonna find out how much is the actual capacity used. The actual capacity used, it is 3.4 pi. Okay, so now we are given what? We have the actual capacity used in one cylindrical test tube, and how much is what? It is the cubic inches. How much is the volume of pint we are gonna put into it? So very simply, what we're gonna do now is the volume that we're gonna put into it, which is 57.75, over the volume of one cylindrical tube that we can fill up, 3.4 pi. We are gonna put it, you're gonna get 57.75 over 3.4 pi. We are gonna get an answer which is approximately 5.41. Now that means they need what? The maximum number of test tubes he will be able to prepare, and he needs to fill it what? He needs to fill it to the maximum, because he needs test tubes that are filled to the maximum, to the top, to the fullest, which is the 85%. So the 0.41 does not count as anything. Instead, the 5 is what will count. So he will fill up 5 full test tubes, and he will have a little bit of 1 left. But they do not need how much of 1 is left. They need how much they fully used, which is gonna be 5 full test tubes. So we move on to question number 2. The wildlife biologist Anna Martinez went on a year-long research expedition to study tropical bird colonies in the Amazon rainforest. She was particularly interested in the reproduction patterns and population growths of macaws. Normally, a macaw couple lays 2 eggs each breeding season. Typically, 1 chick hatches successfully. For scarlet macaws, the first egg weighs approximately 85 grams, so this is what the first egg. And the second egg weighs approximately 120 grams. By approximately how many percent is the second egg heavier than the first egg? Very simply, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the weight of the second egg, being 120 grams, and we're gonna subtract it from the weight of the first egg, which is 85 grams, to see their difference. So 120 minus 85, you are gonna get 35 grams. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the 35 grams, put it over the 85 grams, and multiply it by 100. So on your calculator, 35 over 85 times 100, you are gonna get approximately 41%. Now, Anna observes a colony of 8,000 macaws, 4,000 pairs at the beginning of the year. Each pair successfully raises 1 chick during the breeding season. Okay, so by the end of the year, they told us that 15% of all the birds, adults and chicks, will die due to natural causes. At the end of the first year, how many macaws are there in the colony? There's many ways to do this. I will focus on two important ways. We could do it like this. We have that 8,000 macaws, which is 4,000 pairs, we have them at the beginning of the year. But each pair successfully raises one chick. So 4,000 pairs will raise 4,000 chicks because each pair successfully raises one chick. So in total, they are 8,000 macaws plus 4,000 chicks. In total, you are going to have 12,000. Okay, now 15% of all the birds, adults, and chicks will die due to natural causes. So 12,000, which is the total, we are gonna multiply it by the total number of chicks, which we will denote it by 1, subtracted by the percentage of all the birds that die, which is 15 over 100. So you will put it on your calculator and you will get an answer which is 10,200. It is 10,200 macaws will stay in the colony. Now, the second way of doing this is a similar way. It's a way we just took this year. So what they did was that they took the original number of macaws, which is 8,000 macaws, okay? And then they multiplied it. We know what? That the total number of macaws will increase by half. So if it was 8,000 macaws and 4,000 pairs, each pair raises one chick. So this is plus 4,000, and 4,000, it is what? It is half of the 8,000. So if 8,000 is 1, then 4,000 is 0.5. So together they will become 1.5. So times 1.5, because there is an increase in number by 1.5. Okay, but we do not stop here. Okay, we are calculating how many chicks are surviving. We know that 15% will die, or 15% will die. So if 15% will die, then 100% minus 15% will not die, which is 85%. So that means 8,000 times 1.5 times 85% to the power of the number of years n. If it is 1 year, then you're going to put n as 1. So on the calculator, try 8,000 times 1.5 times 85 over 100 to the power of 1, you are going to get 10,200. And just like that, I solved the second question. They told us to make a general formula. Again, the general formula was that it starts as 8,000 chicks, and each pair successfully raises one chick. So if 8,000 chicks, they raise one chick, that's 4,000. So 1 plus 0.5 will give you 1.5. So the population increased by 1.5. And then they need the numbers of macaws that will survive. So you're not going to take the number that will die. You're going to take 100% minus the number that is going to die. And you're going to get 85% to the power n number of years. So if they need it after 5 years, it's going to be to the power of 5 years. So this is our answer. We will move on to question number 3. In question number 3, they are talking about Iyad. Iyad is preparing a tutorial video about building a timber border around a garden bed. He has 24 meters of timber to build the border. He is considering the following designs for the garden bed. He is building what? He is building timber. He is putting it around a garden bed. So whenever we are dealing with around, then we are dealing with the perimeter, not the area. Pay attention. Around, he is surrounding it, so he needs to cover all of the sides. So let us try to find the parameters of everything. We know that he has 24 meters of timber to build. Okay, so for this one, as you can see over here, if you don't know how much this is, we could take it that it is divided into 4 equal parts. This is how I would take it personally. So it's divided into 4 equal parts. So to find the value of this side over here, it is going to be 9 divided by 4, which is 2.25. I think I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so over here, this is 2.25. Then we have this, which is half of the 3 meters. So it is 1.5 meters. And then we have this over here. This one, as we said, they were all divided into 4 equal parts, okay? So over here, this is 2.25 plus 2.25 because they are two boxes, and together you are gonna get 4.5. And then again, this over here is 1.5 meters, and this is 2.25. This is also 1.5 meters, and this is also 1.5 meters, and then finally this is 9 meters. So if we add them all together, 4.5 plus 2.25 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 9 plus 1.5 plus 2.25 plus 1.5, you are gonna get in total 24 meters. So A is definitely an option. We move on to part B. As you can see, this is divided into 4 equal parts, okay? So if all of it is 9, then this is 2.25, 2.25, 2.25, and 2.25. And the height is divided into 1.5 and 1.5. So you're gonna take all of this, which is 2.25 times 3, which is 6.75. And then you have this over here, 1.5. And then you have this over here, which is 2.25. And then you have what? You have again 1.5. And then you have this to be again 3 times 2.25, which is 6.75. And then you have 1.5. And then you have 2.25. And then you have again 1.5. So if you add them all together, it is going to be... let me just like clear it out and draw for you that this is 6.75. This is 1.5, this is 2.25, this is 1.5, this is 6.75, this is 1.5, and this is 2.25 and 1.5. So you add them all together, 6.75 plus 1.5 plus 2.25 plus 1.5 plus 6.75 plus 1.5 plus 2.25 plus 1.5, and you are going to get the total perimeter to be 24 meters, and this is exactly what we need. So B is another option. Now, for this one over here, it's going to be 3, 9, 3, and 9. So you're going to add them all together. 3 plus 3 plus 9 plus 9, 24. So this is what we need. C is what we are going to take. Now, part D. As you can see over here, we don't know how to find this side over here. So we could do it in another way. We can take this to be half. So this is 1.5 meters. And so this is again 1.5 meters. And we know that it is a right triangle. And as you can see, it was originally a square. So if it was originally a square and you're dealing with a right triangle, then over here this is going to be 45 degrees and 45 degrees because it is an angle bisector. So that means this was 90, you cut it in half. 90, you cut it in half. 90, you cut it in half. Okay? So you should know that the rules for... so definitely... because it is an isosceles triangle, this is going to be 1.5 and this is also going to be 1.5. So to find this over here, you could use Pythagorean theorem. So radical 1.5 squared plus 1.5 squared, you are going to get 3 radical 2 over 2. So now we have the value of this side to be what? 3 radical 2 over 2. And this is also 3 radical 2 over 2 because they are the same. And now this is 1.5, this is 9, and this is 1.5 and 9 again. So we are going to add them. It's going to be 9 plus 3 radical 2 over 2 plus 1.5 plus 9 plus 3 radical 2 over 2 plus 1.5. You add them all together, you are going to get an answer which is approximately 25.2. It's definitely greater than 24, so we're not going to take it. So our only 3 options are A, B, and C. Okay, now we will move on to question number 4. Consider the following sequences. We have U is 3, 12, 48, 192. V, F, and Q. They need us to find the equations for each of them. As you can see, U, it is skipping every time. Let's say from here, if we're going to try the subtraction, it's going to be 12 minus 3. You're going to get 9. But then 48 minus 12, you are going to get 36. And then 192 minus 48, you are going to get 144. So as you can see, it's not a constant. And since it's not a constant, we have to continue. You could do it this way. Or another way is you could try the division. All right, in that you're gonna do 12 divided by 3, you're gonna get 4. 48 divided by 12, you're also gonna get 4. 192 divided by 48, you're gonna get 4. So as you can see, every time we are multiplying it by 4. So this is a geometric sequence. And the rule for geometric sequence is that un is equal to u1 times the ratio, the constant thing being multiplied to the power of n minus 1. So if we're gonna apply it, we have un, we need to find it. It is equal to u1, we know that u1 is 3, times 4, which is the ratio that's being skipped, to the power of n minus 1. And just like that, we found what? We found the first one. So un, remember always, for geometric ratio, un is equal to u1 plus, u1 times the ratio to the power of n minus 1. So u1 is 3, the ratio is 4, n minus 1, un, very simply. So 3 and 4. We move on to part V. As you can see, they are skipping. Like, they are always increasing by a constant value, and this constant value is 4. So 4, 4, 4. And they want us to find the value of Vn. Now, because this is an arithmetic sequence, the rule for the arithmetic sequence, it is the common difference, d, times the number n, okay? In addition to a constant, which we are going to call it b. So to find this constant, let us see how we can find it. Let us take, for example, 15. 15 is v3. v3 is equal to the common difference. The common difference is 4 times the number n, which is 3, plus b. So 15 is equal to 12 plus b. So you're going to get that b is equal to 3. So very simply, you have the common difference, which is 4. So vn is equal to 4. Times n, which is the number, plus the constant, which is 3. So very simply, 4 times n plus 3. 4n plus 3. We will move on to the next one, which is f. So for part f, they are saying what? It is n plus something over n plus something. Very simply, you are going to take them as two different things. You're going to take it as the top alone and the bottom alone. As you can see, the top is what? The top is increasing by 1. So 1 is the common difference. And we know the top is going to be an arithmetic sequence. So the arithmetic sequence on top, the equation for any arithmetic sequence, it is, let us take it as f. So fn, it is equal to the common difference, d, times n plus a constant, which is b. Okay? Keep this in mind. The common difference, 1, we have it. So fn is equal to 1 times n plus b. We choose any random one. For example, this is the first one. So it's going to be f1, which is 2. 2 is equal to 1 times 1 plus b. So then you get the value of b is 1. So that means, very simply, the equation is fn is equal to 1 times n plus 1. Or very simply, fn is equal to n plus 1. This is the numerator. We finished it. It is n plus 1. Now the denominator, as you can see, it is always plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So the common difference, fn, it is equal to 1 times n plus the constant b, because 1 is the common difference. Okay? So fn, it is equal to, let's choose, any random fn. Let us take this. 5, it is equal to 1 times 1 plus b. So you're going to get then that b is equal to 4. So now fn is equal to 1 times n plus 4, or very simply n plus 4. And put them over each other, you will get n plus 1 over n plus 4. Very simply, it is like this, n plus 1 over n plus 4. Now for part Q. As you can see over here, let us try the differences. If we tried the differences, what would happen? We have 5 to 12, this is plus 7. 12 to 25, this is plus 13. 44 to 25, this is plus 19. But as you can see, they are not, there's not a constant difference between them. But if you subtract these, so from 7 to 13, it's plus 6. And from 13 to 19, it's plus 6. So as you can see, there is a common difference, but towards the end. So what we could do is we could do a table. Okay? Let me put this table over here. And we will call this the table of differences. Okay? We have 5, 12, 25, and 44. 12 minus 5 is 7. 25 minus 12 is 13. 44 minus 25 is 19. Then, 19 minus 13 is 6. 13 minus 7 is 6. Alright? Now, look what is gonna happen. As you can see, how many differences do we have? We have one difference and two difference. Or, in another term, let's not take it by differences. How many levels do we have? We have 1 level, 2 levels, 3 levels. So because we have 3 levels, we're supposed to have 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now, usually they cannot be whole numbers, so it's supposed to be, this is our constant. Then this you're gonna put next to it x, and then this you're gonna put next to it x squared. So as you can see, you get a quadratic sequence. So what we're dealing with over here is a quadratic sequence. For the quadratic sequence, what you should know is that the last difference, or the second difference, it is equal to 2a. So very simply, 6 is equal to 2a. You are gonna get that a is equal to 3. Then, the first difference, okay, which is this over here, it is equal to 3a plus b. So 3a plus b is equal to 7. Okay, and we found a to be 3. So 3 times 3 plus b is equal to 7. 9 plus b is equal to 7. B is equal to minus 2. Now you have the value of b to be minus 2. Okay, and now finally, you go back here to this one. So it's not a difference, but it's the nth term rule. You're gonna take the first value and it is equal to what? It is equal to a plus b plus c. We have a to be 3, b to be minus 2, and c we need to find it. So a plus b plus c is equal to 5. So 3 plus minus 2 plus c is equal to 5. You're gonna get that 1 plus c is equal to 5. So then you're gonna get that the value of c is 4. So just like that, you found the final sequence, which is 3x squared minus 2x plus 4. Now they do not use x, they use n. So you're just gonna, instead of x, use n. So it's gonna be 3n squared minus 2n plus 4. Alright, now we will move on to question number 5. They need the surface area of a triangle, a right triangular prism with side length 6 cm and 4 cm whose height is 10 cm. We know that the surface area of a right rectangular prism, we can find it in many ways. One way is to apply the rule of a prism, which is 2 times the base plus the perimeter times the height, or you could add all of the areas together. I prefer always to add the areas together. So if we added all of the areas together, what would happen? We know that 6, 4, 10. So you're gonna find the area of this, okay, and this at the bottom. But we have a small issue, is that all of these are repeated another time. So you have this over here, and then this over here, and this over here. So very simply, to solve this issue, it's gonna be 2 times, and then you just find the area of everything. So the area of the side, it is 4 times 10. You add it to another area, which is this one over here, which is 6 times 10. And then you add it to another area, which is the bottom, which is 6 times 4. And there's no need to do it again because we're multiplying it by 2. So 2 times 4 times 10 plus 6 times 10 plus 6 times 4. You're going to get an answer which is 248. We move on to question number 6. They told us the volume of a sphere of a radius 6 centimeter. We know that the volume of any sphere, it is 4 over 3 pi r to the power of 3. So it's 4 over 3 pi 6 to the power of 3. Put it on your calculator. You are going to get 288 pi cubic centimeters. Now, the sphere is placed in a cylindrical container of a radius 7 centimeters filled with 1 liter of water as shown in the figure below. So what's going to happen is that 1 liter of water, we know it's 1,000 centimeter cubed. you will add to it the volume of the sphere, which is 288 pi centimeter cubed, to get the total volume of the sphere, which is 1904.8. Okay, this is the total volume of the water now. So the total volume, it's equal to 1904.8. They need us to find what? They need us to find the new height of the water. And we are given what? We are given that the radius of the cylinder is 7 centimeters. So to find the new height of the water, what we are going to do is we're going to find, first of all, the equation of a cylinder to find its volume. So the equation of the volume of a cylinder, it is very simply pi r squared h. Okay, so it's gonna be equal to 1904.8, and we know that the radius is 7 centimeters, so 7 squared. So it becomes 49 pi h is equal to 1904.8 divided. So 1904.8 divided by 49 pi, you are gonna get an answer of h to be approximately 12 centimeters. So you are gonna take it as 12 centimeters. We'll move on to question number 7. The given system of equations has a solution AB where A is positive. They need us to find the value of A. Very simply, we need to find the value of A. How do we do it? We have to keep y by itself. Why do we need to keep y by itself? Because A is what? A is x, y. AB is xy, so A is going to be x. So if we keep y as the subject of the equation, then x is going to be found, okay? So we have y is equal to 3x minus 1, and then x plus y squared is equal to 9. Do radical here, you get x plus y is equal to plus or minus 3, okay? And then move this here, you get y is equal to plus or minus 3 minus x. Now you have y and y, you can equate them. So you're going to get 3x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus 3 minus x. So bring this here, you get that 4x, it is equal to either plus 3 plus 1 or minus 3 plus 1. So you get 4x is equal to 4 or 4x is equal to minus 2. Definitely you're going to choose this one because they need it to be positive, where A is positive, okay? You do not select this, so you're going to take this, and then you're going to get that x is equal to 1. We move on to question number 8. We have a solid cylinder has a volume of 125 pi centimeter cubed and a height of 5 centimeters. They need the radius of this cylinder. We know that the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. We have the height to be 5 centimeters. It is equal to 125 pi. So cancel this and cancel this. Divide by 5. You're going to get that r squared is equal to 25. So the radius r is equal to 5 centimeters. Now, we have the volume of what? We have the volume of the solid cylinder, which is given down. We know it is 125 pi. So because they are on top of each other, we know that the radius is going to be the same. So this is also 5 centimeter radius. So to find the volume of the cone, it's going to be very easy. And to find the total volume, you just add the two volumes together. So the volume of any cone, it is 1 over 3 pi r squared h. So it's going to be 1 over 3 times pi times the radius squared times 9. So on your calculator, you are going to get it to be 75 pi. Now to get the total volume of the shape, you're going to add them together and you're going to get 200 pi. So very simply, 200 pi cubic centimeters. Now, we have a solid similar to that of part B has a volume of 5,400 pi centimeter cubed. They need the radius of the cylinder. We will apply the ratios of proportionality or similarity. Volume 1 over volume 2 is equal to k to the power of 3, and side 1 over side 2 is equal to k. Volume 1, we will take it as 5,400 pi over volume 2, which is 200 pi. It is equal to k cubed. So you're going to get that k cubed is equal to 27. So that means k is equal to 3. Very simply. So now the side 1, which we need to find, over side 2, which is 5 centimeters because we found it in the first part, it is equal to the constant k, which is 3. So you do cross multiplication, you get side 1 is 15. So the new radius of the cylinder is 15 centimeters. We move on to question number 9. They said, express 2.141414 as a fraction in lowest terms. Very simply, as you can see, everything after the decimal point is being repeated. So you can write x is equal to 2.141414. And now you're gonna take what is being repeated. So now, how many digits are being repeated? 2 digits are being repeated. So you're gonna write a 1 with 2 zeros because 2 digits are being repeated. X is equal to 214.1414. Okay, now you're gonna subtract them both and you're gonna get that 99x is equal to, this will cancel out with this, 214 minus 2, 212. So then x is equal to 212 over 99. So put it on your calculator just to check. As you can see, it cannot be simplified and you're gonna get 2.14141414, etc. So the answer, it is 212 over 99. We move on to question number 10. Oops. The common ratio of the geometric progression or geometric sequence. How do we find the common ratio? Because it's geometric, we are gonna divide them. So 6 over minus 3, you are gonna get it to be minus 2. We move on to question number 11. Given a geometric progression with G1, 3, common ratio R equals to 2. They need us to find the value of G5. You should know that the geometric progression of anything, we will call it Un. Un, it is equal to U1 times the ratio to the power of n minus 1. So, Un, which is G5, it is equal to G1, which is 3, times the common ratio 2, to the power of n, which is 5 minus 1, which is then 4. So put it on your calculator, 3 times 2 to the power of 4, you are going to get it to be 48. And very simply, the answer is 48. We move on to question number 12. They need the common ratio of this progression given that the first and second terms are 1 over 10 and 7 over 2. Very simply, to find it, we are going to divide. So it becomes 7 over 2 divided by 1 over 10. You can put it on your calculator. You are going to get an answer of 35. So very simply, the common ratio of this progression is 35. We move on to question number 13. What fraction in the lowest term is equal to the 8th term of the geometric progression if its first term is this and its common ratio is this? Very simply, geometric progression, we automatically put this equation. Un is equal to U1 times the ratio to the power of n minus 1. Okay? So, Un, which we need to find, it's the 8th term, U8. It's equal to U1, which is 2 to the power of 4 over 3 to the power of 5, times the common ratio, which is 3 over 2, to the power of n minus 1, which is 8 minus 1, which is 7. Put it on your calculator. Okay, do not forget to put the brackets for the 3 over 2, so 3 over 2 to the power of 7. And you are going to get 9 over 8. So very simply, 9 over 8 is our answer. We move on to question number 14. They need the common ratio of the geometric progression. Again, whenever they say common ratio and geometric progression, you're going to divide. So minus 12 over 4, you're going to get minus 3. So the common ratio is minus 3. We move on to question number 15. This is a very important question. Let us write what we have. An amount of $550, this is initial money, is invested at a bank that pays an annual interest. Keep this in mind, annual interest rate of 7%. Okay? Compounded annually to the nearest cent they needed, the value of this money after 4 years. Okay, the equation for the compound interest is the initial amount of money times 1 plus the percentage, okay, to the power of the number of years. Very simply, it's a very easy equation. So the initial being 550 times 1 plus the percentage, which is 7 over 100, don't forget to put it over 100, to the power of 4 years. So 550 times 1 plus 7 over 100 to the power of 4 you are gonna get it to be what? 720.94. The 0.94 means cents, so they already told us it's 94 cents. So we are left with what? With before the decimal place being the dollar, so it's $720.94. Now here this is different. We move on to question number 16. Let us write what we have. We have the amount of $400. This is the initial amount of money that pays an annual interest. Keep this in mind, annual interest of 6% compounded monthly. Now, if it's 6% compounded monthly, then yearly it's gonna be 6/12%. Very simply. They need the final amount after 3 years, but it is compounded monthly. So, because it is compounded monthly, then we need to change the number of years into months. So it's gonna be 3 years times 12 months. Okay, and now we have everything we need. Now, the monthly is a bit confusing. You keep the initial as it is. Now, they told you it's an annual interest rate, so you have to keep this in mind. 6% is compounded monthly, so per year it is 6/12%. And after 3 years, they need it in months. So by monthly, you're going to change 3 years into months, so it's going to be 3 times 12. So 3 times 12 months. So very simply, the initial amount, which is $400, okay, we're going to multiply it by what? We're going to multiply it by 1 plus the percentage earned yearly, which is 6/12%. And then we're going to raise it to the power of what? Of the number of months. So if it's 3 years, then it's going to be 3 times 12 months. So the equation for the monthly, it is very simply the initial multiplied by 1 plus the percentage over 12 to the power of the years times 12. Very simply, it's like this. So on your calculator, if you put it 400 times 1 plus 6/12%, okay, to the power of 3 times 12, then you are going to get it to be 478.67 cents. So they already gave us that it's 67 cents, so we don't need to put 67 cents. And we are left with the dollars being $478. We move on to question number 17. Now this is a different question, but it's a nice question. In all the pictures below, the graph of y is equal to 0.6x is shown as a dotted curve. As you can see that y equals 0.6x is the same in all of them, which is the dotted curve. They said pick the picture where it is accompanied by the graph of 0.6x plus 2. X plus what? X plus 2. So you are adding 2 to the x. Whenever you are adding a number to the x, when you're adding or subtracting a number to the x, then you're either shifting left or right. Okay? If you are adding, then you are shifting towards the left. If you are subtracting, then you are shifting towards the right. Okay? So remember, if you're adding or subtracting to the x, you are shifting left or right. If you're adding, you are shifting left. If you're subtracting, you are shifting right. So here, because they are adding, they're going to be shifting towards the left. So this is incorrect, and this is the option that we need to choose. They said the equation of the asymptote of the graph of y is this is equal to y is. They're telling us that y is equal to. What you need to know is that y is the horizontal asymptote. Okay? So, as you can look in the figure that we chose, the dotted line, its asymptote in the horizontal, which is the y, okay, it is what? It is 0. Okay, so the dotted line, the asymptote is equal to 0, the horizontal asymptote. However, the green line, which is the new equation, its asymptote is also 0, because by looking at it, you see that the y asymptote doesn't change. So very simply, when you are adding a value to the x, meaning you're shifting it left or right, the horizontal asymptote, which is the y asymptote, never changes. So as you can see, it is 0. That means it is gonna be also 0. We move on to question number 18. Here we have cone A and B are similar. Cone A has a height of 10 centimeters and a radius of 5 centimeters. B has a height of 50 centimeters and a radius of 25. They need what? They need the area scale factor K, as we said before in the periodic quizzes, that the area scale is area 1 over area 2 being K to the power of 2. So when they say area scale, they need K to the power of 2, not K, they need K to the power of 2. So we are given what? We are given the site, so we can find K very simply. So choose, for example, the radiuses, 25 over 5. You will get the constant K to be what? To be 5. Okay, notice how they said K is bigger than 1. So you will not put 5 over 25. No, you will choose the bigger number over the smaller number to ensure that it is bigger than 1. So we have K to be 5. But do they need K or they need the area scale factor? No, they need the area scale factor K, which is K squared. So you're going to square this and you're going to get 25. So very simply, 25 is our answer. We move on to question number 19. They need the volume of a sphere of radius 9 centimeters. You know that the volume of any sphere is 4 over 3 pi r to the power of 3. So 4 over 3 times pi times 9 to the power of 3. Put it on the calculator. You are going to get 972 pi centimeter cubed. So 972. We move on to question number 20. They need the surface area of a sphere of radius 3 centimeters. You should know that the surface area of any sphere is 4 pi r squared. So it's 4 times pi times 3 squared, and you are going to get 36 pi. Okay, so it is very simply 36 pi centimeter squared. We move on to question number 21. They told us if the total surface area of a right cone is whatever, and its radius is base 9 centimeters, they need us to find the measure of its slant height. Very simply, what you need to know is that the surface area of a right cone, it is pi r squared plus pi r L. L is the slant height. To find the slant height, we have many ways to do it. I prefer to take out the common factors. The common factors in this case are pi and r. So pi and r times r plus the slant height L is equal to the surface area, which is 378 pi. Substitute pi to be 9, so pi times 9 times 9 plus slant height L is equal to 378 pi. This goes away with this, divide by 9. You get 9 plus the slant height L is equal to 378 divided by 9, which is 42. So the slant height L is equal to 42 minus 9, which is 33. And there you go, you found the slant height L to be 33 centimeters. We move on to question number 22. If the volume of a right cone is 120 pi centimeter cubed and the radius of its base is 6 centimeters, then the measure of its height. We need to find the measure of the height of a right cone given its volume. You should know that the volume of a cone, it is 1 over 3 times pi times r squared times h. Okay? So 1 over 3 times pi times the radius to be 6 squared times the height, h is equal to 120 pi. This goes away with this, okay? And you are left with 1 over 3 times 6 squared times h is equal to 120. Then after solving it, so that means 120 over 1 over 3 times 6 squared, you're going to get an answer of 10. So h is equal to 10. We move on to question number 23. Very simply, in question number 23, they said if the volume of a right cone is 624 pi centimeter cubed, they need us to find the height given its radius. You should know that the volume of a right cone, again, it is 1 over 3 times pi times r squared times h. It's equal to 624 pi. You are given that the radius is 12, so 1 over 3 times pi times 12 squared times h is equal to 624 pi. This goes away with this. And then after solving it even more, you're going to get 624 over 1 over 3 times 12 squared. You are going to get that the height h is equal to 13 centimeters. We move on to question number 24. They said, what's the volume of a regular square pyramid whose height is 15 and the length of the side of its base is 8? And remember, it's a square pyramid. So very simply, the area of any pyramid, it's 1 over 3 times the area of the base times the height. So 1 over 3 times the area of the base. If one side is 8, then that means the area of the base is 8 times 8 times the height to be 15. Put it on the calculator, you're going to get an answer which is 320. Let me just check. 1 over 3 times 8 times 8 times 15. You are going to get 320. We move on to question number 25. What is the lateral area of a right circular cylinder whose height is 10 over pi and the base radius is 9? They need the lateral area. You should know that the lateral area of any circular cylinder, it is 2 pi RH. Okay? So, 2 pi RH is equal to the lateral area. 2 times pi times the radius, which is 9, times the height, which is 10 over pi. Cancel and cancel. You are going to get then 180. So very simply, the lateral area is 180. They said, what is the radius of a sphere of volume this? To find the radius of a sphere of volume this, we just need to know that the volume of any sphere is 4 over 3 pi r to the power of 3. Okay? Cancel pi, cancel pi. Okay? You will be left with r to the power of 3 is equal to 5324 over 3 divided by 4 over 3. Put it on your calculator. Do not forget the bracket. So, 5324 over 3, okay, over 4 over 3, and then you are going to get 1331. So 3 to the, not 3, r to the power of 3 is equal to 1331. So then, using your calculator, you're going to do shift the radical, and you're going to put 1331, and you're going to get 11. So r is equal to 11. We move on to question number 27, which is the last question. They need the surface area of a sphere of volume, whatever is this, where k is a constant to be determined. To find the surface area from the volume, we first need to find the radius. So very simply, to find the radius, we will apply that this is equal to 4 over 3 pi r cubed, cancel pi and pi. Now you have that r cubed is equal to 8788 over 3 divided by 4 over 3. Put it on the calculator, you will get that r cubed is equal to 2197. Okay? So that means r is equal to 13. Now that we have the value of the radius r, we can find the surface area of the sphere by very simply doing 4 pi r squared. So 4 pi r squared is equal to the surface area. So 4 times pi times the radius, which is 13 squared. Put it on your calculator. You're going to get 676 pi. So very simply, 676 pi. Let us submit, and hopefully there are no mistakes, because it's been 50 minutes of explaining. And thank God there are no mistakes. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.